So, you might remember in an earlier video that I did that I initially thought BIOS files didn't have much of a purpose in MelonDS. Well, as it turns out, I was dead wrong. Initially, I only saw them useful as a means to use Wi-Fi on WiiMfi, but now I recently found out that it's used to boot up the firmware of your DS, and even for a Nintendo DSi as well. And trust me, if you're using the DSi in particular, you're gonna get a lot of mileage out of it, as this is one of the only ways to play DSiWare on an emulator. So what you need is the simple part. All you need is MelonDS, a couple of BIOS files, a firmware file, and if you're going DSi mode, a DSi's NAND memory. Likewise, if you're planning to go DSi mode and looking to play some DSiWare you don't have, you're gonna have to look online for some ROMs. What's not so simple is how you go about getting them. The DS and DSi are not exactly the most user-friendly when it comes to hacking. The DS itself requires a flash card for you to even get anything from it, and the DSi has a lot of complicated steps to follow, as well as a lot of files that look similar to each other. So with all that said, I wouldn't even put it past anybody to go the easy route and just find these files online. Yeah, yuck it up. Vincent Rongone cheated again. The only thing I'll say is that they are guaranteed to work, as long as you put everything in the right spot and named everything correctly. Extensions and all. Another thing worth noting is that some of these files are formatted for RetroArch instead of MelonDS. Thankfully, it's pretty easy to rename, and the file doesn't even get corrupted when you change the extension. So I'll do an example right here for the only file that I've really had to change. And it says dsi-1.mmc, and we simply just rename it to nand.bin. And it's really just as simple as that. So before I move on to the next part, I'm going to show off some DS and DSi firmwares and NANDs that I have downloaded on the internet. I feel like I'd be friends with these people. This also does work on the mobile version for Android, but you might get shakier results in comparison. Now, for this section, I'm going to be abridging an older video of mine regarding how to get the BIOS files. If you want to see the full version, I have a video card right here, right now, but for now, here's the SparkNotes version. So, starting with the DS BIOS, we're first going to start off by finding a program called DSiBosdumper. Try to find the most recent version. For instance, I used version 1.2.1, which was released in 2023, and it's worked really well for me back when I used it. Download it and put it in your microSD, preferably in a folder called Firmware Dumper. Eject the microSD, put it in your flash cart, and put that flash cart into your DS. Boot up your DS, and boot up the flash card on the DS slot. You can then open up this app, and you should be able to find DSiBosdumper. The app will automatically dump your files, to which then you can turn off the DS, and then put the microSD back in the computer. All you have to do is rename the files properly, and your DS firmware is ready to go. And that covers DS firmware. So then we can move on to the DSi side of things. First, let's go to this website right here and download DSiBosdumper. Then you can put the extracted file into the root of your SD card. Scrolling further down, you'll find two files you're going to need to download as well, Twilight Menu and Dump Tool. And we will also need those in the root of the SD card. Third off, Flipnote Lenny, the exploit I prefer to use when getting into Homebrew. We'll get the private folder from the zip download put to the root of your SD card once again. And then finally, Unlaunch and God Mode. Download unlaunch.dsi, put that anywhere in your SD card, and then download godmode9i.dsi and put that in the root of your SD card as well. The SD card is prepared, and we can put that in the DSi. Head immediately to Flipnote Studio, tap the wrench, turn off the calendar, and turn on the frog. We are now going to view Flipnotes from our SD card. From the SD card, you can tap the Lenny face with the USA subtitle. We're going to edit, tap the frog, go to the film roll, and we are going to copy that frame. Once we head on back, we are going to tap on the Lenny without the subtitle. Once again, we will tap Edit, hit the frog, and then go to the film roll, And then all you have to do is press paste and watch the exploit do its magic. Pick your language, then proceed. Pick your region, then proceed. And then you'll see a slightly modified opener screen for the DSi, which will then show you Twilight menu. Scroll around until you find yourself God mode. Now boot it up with a simple A press. Press A on the SD card option, and press down all the way until you see Unlaunch on the bottom there. Press A to select it, and then press A a second time to boot it. And then you should see the Unlaunch boot up. We're going to properly install it. So go to Install Now. Once it's complete, power it down and power it back up again. Now, finally, we can properly use the DSi dump tool. Press A to dump everything. And congratulations, you finally got all your files. Still awake? Good. Because we're getting to the fun part. Okay, so now that we have all our BIOS files, both the DS and the DSi BIOS files, we're going to start from the beginning, and I'm going to show you what happens when you boot your firmware first and foremost. Yeah, it'll just tell you, nope, you're not doing that. Alright, so we'll go to EMU settings, and on general, we're going to start with DS. You can boot the game directly, but you can turn that off. Doesn't matter. If you don't have a game card, if you didn't open a game card, if you don't open a ROM, and nothing happens. Let's start with our BIOS 9. And then our BIOS 7. And then our firmware. Make sure they're .bin files, otherwise they are not working. Let's boot our firmware. And look at that. We got the opening screen of our Nintendo DS. And now you have access to PictoChat and the DS download play. So yeah, there's not really much you can do with this right now unless you have a second player. So I'm gonna go to System and then Multiplayer, launch a new instance. And let's have a second one out there. And if you're wondering why the second one is muted, you can actually make it so that the first instance is the only one playing audio, which is what you're noticing right here. And you'll also notice that EMU settings has been disabled once multiplayer play has been set up. So, we had our fun with the DS mode. Let's go to DSi mode. Here's my folder full of my firmware, BIOS, and NAND. Once again, start with 9, then with 7. A little bit of a discrepancy is that you actually can have the 7i and 9i, as opposed to like the 9 and 7 that I have by default here. This was initially just because I thought you had to remove the I from the title, but when I was looking at it nowadays, it seems to be working without it just fine. So yes, you can have it as BIOS 7i or BIOS 9i as well. But that's not really a big deal. We're gonna move to the firmware next. I think this works both with the DS and the DSi. You can use it interchangeably for both. And then there's also the nan.bin file. You might see it named differently if you got it online. Just remember that. Alright, and one thing you're noticing right now... Oh, right. Okay, so what happened is that I forgot to go to General and then switch it to the DSi Experimental. Let's try and reboot that. We got a little bit of a problem there. It basically needs a hard reboot. So you're just going to have to close it, bring it back up, Alt F4, do as you please. So let's try this again. It's working fine. We're doing good. And yeah, it looks like everything's working right. So this used to be my older brother's DSi, but I basically wiped the memory from this NAND copy in a way so that it's now basically mine. It's basically a new one altogether, and the DSi and the NAND that's still on the actual DSi hardware is still safe and sound with my brother's DSi. So what we're going to do is try out a different NAND. All you have to do is just switch out a NAND. You can actually use any old NAND that you want. So I have like several examples, as you can see right here. We're gonna pick one of them. Yeah, you can tell it's a different one with a different folder name. And you might see an error if you're trying to go from one NAND to another, right off the bat, all you gotta do is just turn off MelonDS, put it back on again, and then it should work fine. Yeah, there's the Nathan one with the Sailor Moon. And he's got quite a couple of games in there. And try a different one. Let's see. Let's try this one. This one actually worked immediately. Well, that's nice. Yeah, you can tell it's a different one based on the name. Well, let's try one more once again. And once again, we got an error. Just, close it out. Bring it back up. Once again, it's working fine. Now, from here, we're going to be putting in DSiWare. This is the part that I'm really excited to talk about. So, what I have here is a DSi ROM of Four Swords Anniversary Edition. And so, what we're going to do is install it. DSiWare files can actually be kind of hard to find. The typical ROM site usually does not have it. And even if it does, the download itself might be a jumbled mess. But luckily I found a location that provides them. Turnitin, Chivaray, if you remember that name. So from MelonDS's menu, you go to System, and then right next to Multiplayer, you'll see Manage DSi Titles. And if you click one of those, you can choose to delete it. But what we're going to do is import title, and we'll use this Four Swords Anniversary Edition for my example. Just go ahead, browse for it. And then there's a second thing called the metadata, but this part you really don't have to worry about. You can just ignore it completely, actually. And then you just press OK, and then it just installs. And then you're able to play some DSiWare. But the thing is, you can only boot up DSiWare only when you boot DSi firmware. You're unable to boot DSiWare from the MelonDS menu. It's sad, but what you gonna do? Now, before I finish this video, there's one last thing I wanted to show you guys. If you happen to be looking for a DSiWare download, you might come across a kind of download where one of the files is just a bunch of zeros. From the looks of it, it's in an unusable state, but you can convert it to a .nds or a .dsi file with a hex editor. There's two ways to know whether or not a simple saveover can make this file usable. The first is that it has a header, so right off the top you can see Zelda 4 Sword, whereas this other file does not have that. And the other key piece of evidence is the file size. If it is 14,157 kilobytes, it's usable. Anything else, and it's probably not. There are some sites that offer this download, and it's important to check whether or not it's usable or not. And I think to end things off, I'll just show you proof of turning this 00 file into a .dsi file, and then installing it onto the DSiWare manager on MelonDS. And in case you were wondering, yes, Four Swords Anniversary Edition does work in tandem with the multiplayer. If I had 3 other friends, I'd show off its fullest potential. But for now, I'll show off some gameplay that I did alongside my friend Choco. So, this is where I'll end things off. My name is Vince, and enjoy. There is quite a bit of content locked to DSi. Alright. 3, 2, 1,
right.
Let's jam.
Alright, I got my alias of the day.
What are you feeling? Sea of Trees, Talus Cave, or Death Mountain?
Yo, this is just like Triforce Heroes. I can't believe this game ripped that one off. Let's do Sea of Trees.
Okay.
Start simple.
Oh, we got the easy we got the easy first level. Alright. Biggest priority is to find hearts. There you go.
Oh hey, fairy.
So now we get double. Black rupees are actually like really good to have in this game when you're on double rupees. Cause you actually gain back you actually get back double.
200.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, I have a shield.
Yeah, it's on the Y. You know what you also have? That's specifically for the one player.
Well, why do I have it?
It's specifically for single player.
Oh, I assume it calls your buddies over to you?
Yeah. Yeah, they actually did a lot of unique, like, computer AI for your buddy character.
A rock.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't think we can do anything about
yes,
the rock.
Yeah, we can.
Oh, can we push it through the thing?
No, grab it. Try B.
What do you mean grab? Oh, we can pick it up. Okay.
Yeah.
These guys is brutal.
Yeah, Moblins are really rough in this game. You got the key.
Give me a key. Yeah. Lag. Oh wait,
Run!
Sorry. I'm trying! He's on the...
I didn't think he'd get into the safe zone.
I'm sorry I keep taking the things. My neuron activates. I see heart container, I pick it up.
Attack the flower, whose color matches your tunic.
Oh. The almighty fridge wins again.
The great fairy of fridge.
The great fridge of the forest. I'm just imagining, like, the fairy comes out and it just turns into, like, a low-quality JPEG of a fridge.
That's something I could do. If I really wanted to.